the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
So go ahead and argue.
I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing, and anybody didn't think she was going to be successful or not play. It was just that we felt the other players in the
Molly, I said.
Really, Molly? Wow.
They jumped on us. They jumped on us, Molly.
Caitlin Clark, the exceptional Iowa Hawkeyes basketball player, has emerged as one of the most formidable and influential athletes in women's college basketball. Her remarkable performances, driven by her unparalleled scoring ability, leadership, and undeniable brilliance, have captivated sports fans, pundits, and fellow athletes alike. However, Clark recently found herself at the center of attention for reasons beyond her on-court prowess. A controversy erupted when comments made by ESPN's Molly Qerim about Clark ignited a heated debate, ultimately leading to Qerim's dismissal from the network. The episode stirred a wave of reactions from sports fans, commentators, and critics, raising larger questions about the impact of media portrayals of female athletes and the broader ramifications for sports journalism. To fully understand the controversy, it's essential first to recognize the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark and the profound impact she has had on women's basketball. Born in Des Moines, Iowa, Clark was already a household name during her high school years. Her talent was evident early on as she set numerous records and gained national recognition, becoming one of the most sought-after recruits in women's basketball. When Clark chose to stay in her home state and play for the Iowa Hawkeyes, it marked the beginning of a new era for women's collegiate basketball. From the moment she stepped onto the court as a freshman, Clark showcased her unique ability to score from almost anywhere on the floor, delivering precise assists, and leading her team with tenacity and passion. Her competitive drive and incredible basketball IQ quickly earned her respect within the league. Clark's ability to sink deep three-pointers, orchestrate offensive plays with sharp court vision, and carry her team during critical moments has made her one of the most talked-about players in the sport. In just a few seasons, she has gone from a prospective recruit to a national sensation, often drawing comparisons to some of the greatest players in basketball history. Dubbed a once-in-a-generation talent, Clark has the potential to reshape the landscape of the game and propel the popularity of women's sports to unprecedented heights. As Clark's influence grew, so did the attention surrounding women's basketball. Her performances not only boosted her team's fortunes, but also drew more media coverage and expanded the fan base for the sport. Clark's rise to stardom symbolizes a broader cultural shift, with women's sports gaining increased prominence in mainstream sports media. Despite Caitlin Clark's undeniable success, she found herself at the center of a media storm due to remarks made by Molly Qerim, co-host of ESPN's First Take *. During a segment analyzing one of Clark's recent performances, Qerim allegedly made comments that many interpreted as belittling Clark's accomplishments. According to reports, Qerim remarked that while Clark's style of play was showy, it lacked the substance necessary to excel at the highest level of competition. Additionally, Qerim seemed to imply that the media's focus on Clark was driven more by marketing and public attention than her actual skill level, which fans and critics felt was an unjustified critique. Though Qerim's statements may have appeared innocuous to some, the tone and delivery sparked outrage among Clark's supporters. Fans of the Hawkeyes star took to social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to express their displeasure, accusing Qerim of downplaying Clark's achievements and perpetuating harmful stereotypes about female athletes. Hashtags like #support Caitlin Clark and #fire Molly Qerim quickly began trending, as fans demanded that ESPN take action against the co-host. The timing of Qerim's comments added fuel to the fire. Clark had just delivered another outstanding performance, leading her team to a crucial victory. Many viewed Qerim's remarks as an unnecessary and poorly timed criticism, especially considering Clark's continued dominance on the court. As the backlash intensified, it became clear that Qerim's comments had touched on deeper issues surrounding gender, media portrayals of athletes, and the ongoing struggle for recognition in women's sports. The controversy surrounding Qerim's remarks about Caitlin Clark is part of a larger, more complex conversation about how female athletes are treated and represented in the media. Historically, there has been a significant double standard in how male and female athletes are portrayed and criticized. Male athletes are often celebrated for their confidence, swagger, and aggressiveness, while female athletes who exhibit similar traits are frequently chastised as being too emotional or too flashy. This discrepancy reflects deeply ingrained societal beliefs about gender and competition, and it continues to influence how women in sports are evaluated and discussed. Initially, ESPN remained silent on the matter, perhaps hoping that the controversy would blow over. However, as public backlash continued to mount, the network was eventually forced to address the situation. In a brief statement, ESPN acknowledged that Qerim's comments had upset viewers and assured the public that the issue was being taken seriously. Behind the scenes, ESPN found itself in a difficult position. Molly Qerim was a prominent figure at the network, having co-hosted First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Firing such a high-profile personality was not a decision the network would take lightly. However, with growing pressure from fans and advocates of women's sports to hold Qerim accountable for her remarks, ESPN had to weigh the consequences of maintaining her on staff. Ultimately, ESPN made the decision to part ways with Molly Qerim. In a follow-up statement, the network reiterated its commitment to creating an inclusive and respectful environment for all athletes, including women. While the decision to terminate Qerim generated mixed reactions, it underscored the increasing importance of accountability in sports media, especially when it comes to the treatment of female athletes. The aftermath of Molly Qerim's dismissal sparked an important conversation about media responsibility and the future of women's sports coverage. While female athletes have made significant strides in terms of exposure and recognition, incidents like these serve as a reminder that there is still a long way to go. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public perceptions of athletes, and with that power comes the responsibility to provide fair and respectful coverage. For Caitlin Clark, the controversy surrounding Qerim's comments seemed to have little effect on her focus. She continued to dominate on the court, delivering standout performances and leading her team to victory. In many ways, Clark's resilience in the face of criticism served as a powerful example for young athletes, illustrating that excellence on the court speaks louder than the noise of media commentary. The episode also brought to light the stark differences in how male and female athletes are scrutinized. While male athletes are often praised for their confidence and competitive drive, female athletes like Clark are sometimes criticized for exhibiting similar traits. This double standard highlights the societal expectations placed on women in sports and underscores the need for a more balanced and equitable approach to covering female athletes. As the conversation around Qerim's comments and Clark's rise continued, many called for a reevaluation of how media outlets cover women's sports. While female athletes have made significant progress in terms of exposure and recognition, there is still a need for more balanced coverage that does not rely on outdated stereotypes or unfair critiques. This includes not only increasing the visibility of female athletes, but also ensuring that discussions and analyses of their performances are fair, impartial, and free from harmful assumptions. The termination of Molly Qerim sent a clear message that disrespectful or disparaging comments about female athletes will not be tolerated. However, the real challenge moving forward lies in creating a media landscape where female athletes are celebrated for their accomplishments without resorting to extreme measures like firings or public outrage. Achieving this balance requires a cultural shift in how we view and discuss women's sports, both in the media and beyond. Amid the media storm, Caitlin Clark has continued to do what she does best: play exceptional basketball. Her rise from high school prodigy to college superstar has been nothing short of extraordinary, and she shows no signs of slowing down. Clark's remarkable ability to score from anywhere on the court, her vision in setting up teammates, and her relentless competitive spirit have made her a role model for aspiring athletes across the country. Clark's influence extends beyond her individual performance. As women's basketball continues to gain traction, athletes like Clark are helping to redefine the sport's place in the broader sports landscape. Her success has inspired a new generation of players, and her ability to draw in fans has increased the visibility of women's basketball as a whole. The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark and Molly Qerim is emblematic of the growing pains that come with the rising prominence of women's sports. As female athletes continue to break barriers and push the limits of their sports, the media must adapt to provide fair and. The dismissal of Molly Qerim serves as a reminder that words matter, and that the media has a responsibility to accurately represent athletes' accomplishments without resorting to harmful stereotypes or unfair criticisms.